Was this nature, nurture? Was this something that was handed down from your parents, or something learned along the way with perhaps with practice with your health issues and the sports?
I think it is both for me, nature and nurture. So, based on my experiences, I really dive into everything. So, it really gave me a different aspect and that bigger picture on how to approach things, look at things, and always understanding information is changing, so you have to stay on top of that information, which gives
Mm-hmm.
me a different understanding than some individuals. The other aspect is I did come from parents and family members who put community before themselves. My parents are both physicians. My dad is a anesthesiologist and my mom's a social worker. So they've done everything from doing mission trips and being in different parts of the world that were really less income and needed help to I remember 9/11 hit and my mom and dad went to New York to try to help. They I have family members who've served. My brother-in-law uh, is a former Marine. My boyfriend's in the U.S. Coast Guard, and my sister's boyfriend, congratulations to him, just finished the Naval Academy to become a pilot in the Navy. So, um, I ironically, and like that, for example, I laugh at is the men that are now in my life and my sister's life, because our running joke is who would have thought all three of us would be ending up with different branches of the military, but they're all water based, which is also ironic. But it's who do you surround yourself with? I've surrounded myself with people who put people first, who are people driven. So I've been able to lean on that when I don't always, we all have those moments where you put yourself first or you become a little selfish. And being selfish sometimes is 100% what you should do. There is certain situations where you need to be selfish and put yourself first. But I've also surrounded myself with people who look at the importance of your community, the importance of stepping up when others can't stand up for themselves, whether that's do in a voice way, in a room, or a natural disaster hits. Um, and I've always tried to do different things that gives back to that community. And now with Achieving Success LLC and my consulting, my big focus is giving the voice to individuals to show them their own power, whether that is in resume to highlight their skills so they can get that next job, whether it's in consulting to see where they might want to be in the next few years. What are things you could work on now? What have someone to hold you accountable to those goals. And within the podcasting space, I think people forget the podcasting space is continuously growing, which is phenomenal. And it is something as a host myself, I think within the hosting community, it is tight knit to some extent. There is a level of you get in a room with another host and there's that camaraderie that we're going through this together. You understand how I've approached different things in XYZ and whatever it might be. But the commonality between being a host or being a guest or wanting to elevate your podcast, 9 times out of 10, is to share stories, to share insight, to help other people understand the impacts they can give to a community. It all falls on to what is your impact, purpose, and passion. And that's the thing that within the podcasting space, I lean on every single day. The way we might do that is with using the tool and platforms such as podcasting, but the real thing you're delivering is your impact and purpose and utilizing your voice to share stories, to share knowledge, to make people feel like they are not alone. And that, whether you know it or not, is making such an impact in someone else's life. And that's really important.
We all want to live a life of significance, right? So whether it's one life we have an impact on or many, uh, it feels good to be of service. What's your favorite aspect of what you're doing today? What's your favorite thing to do within your business?
Ooh, that's hard because I am lucky enough to have built a business that I am passionate about every aspect of it. I look at other things I've done professionally, and I know that's kind of cheesy to say sometimes, but I do look at what I did professionally, and I joke I've worn quite a few hats before starting my business just based on my degrees and how I was pivoting. It all shaped me for this. There's not one day. Moments might be frustrating in my day. I might get annoyed at things throughout my day, but there isn't one day I wake up and dread anything I do within my business. And it might be the most tedious thing. I might have to have longer conversations or, different aspects of running a business as any entrepreneur in any space understands. Those many different facets to it. But there isn't one day, even when I get, calls on the weekend or emails, that when I see it, I am not like, why am I being bothered with this? And I think that's the biggest thing, is as long as you're doing something you're really passionate about and continuously evaluating that, you can wake up and be happy with every aspect of it. I can work a six, not that I work every day 16-hour days, but there are days I do, and I go, how lucky am I today? Because the one overarching aspect, to kind of answer your question as well, that I find in it is that I get to touch so many people in so many different ways. And I will speak to people, whether they end up starting a podcast, bringing me on to grow their podcast, or, help, whether they decide to be guests on podcasts and have me go on that journey with them, whatever it might be. Even if they don't do any of it, I've heard their stories. I've given them space to be heard, listened to, and validated. And I've been able to learn new things every single day based on listening to those individuals and having conversations. And I think that's one of my favorite things about what I do now, is making sure that everyone feels heard.